Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Today is March 9th, 2025. You know who I am. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Let me say it for you again. I am Richard Lewis Brown, your duly elected Local 1000 president, elected in May of 2021. I haven't done a video in a little while, but today I have the spirit to do a video. I've gotten a lot of calls over the last few days regarding this Governor Gavin Newsom, and his desire to return you back to work 4 days a week. Why not make it all 5? I don't know. 4 days a week starting July 1st, 2025. I've gotten a lot of phone calls. Why is that? Because you know who the leader is. And you know that if I was still in office, this would not be happening. See, this current invalid contract that you're on right now, Local 1000, I said invalid because I'm the chief negotiator. I was removed from my office illegally, suspended illegally. This contract's invalid. But had I done this new contract, we would have permanent telework. Remember I said a 21% pay increase across the board, 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally. I've never changed on that because that was part of me creating a new culture with Local 1000. So the governor now wants to act like he still loves you. That's an act, an Oscar-winning act. And that bringing you back to office is the right thing to do. Hi, Cheryl. So, and I put the Zoom link up as well on my Facebook page, RL Brown. The Zoom link is up if you want to come on Zoom and ask me questions or whatever. Now, Governor Newsom is acting like he's still pro-labor friendly. That's a lie. Everything he does in his public life is a lie. Not trying to be judgmental. I'm just telling you by his actions, he's a liar. Okay? He wants to bring you back to work July 1st. You're on a current invalid contract started July 1st, 2023, ends June 30th, 2026. Contract's invalid. I'm your chief negotiator. I was illegally suspended, illegally removed. I'm in the court system. I have not given up on you. I am still here. I will be reinstated. Some people say, Richard, it's a pipe dream. You will not be reinstated. That's a lie. I will be reinstated. I have confidence in my country. I have confidence in the court system, even though the Sacramento Superior Court system is crooked and corrupted, and you're being influenced by Gavin Newsom. Now, I am also doing a Zoom while I'm talking to you live on Facebook. So I'm doing two things. That's what I always do. If you want to come on Zoom and ask me questions, great. If you want to put your comments in Facebook, I'll try to catch your comments and answer your questions. Gavin Newsom is not your friend. He's not labor friendly. He's transgendered the truth. Athletically, should I say. He tells you that bringing you back to work is the right thing to do. Would he be saying this if Kamala Harris had won the U.S. presidency? He would not be saying this. So now it's convenient for him to say, let's bring you back to work. This is the most populated state in America, the state of California. If you're really about the green environment, about protecting people's lives, if you were really serious about that, Governor Newsom, you wouldn't be demanding that folks come back to work. But see, this is his way of trying to run for the White House because he was actually supposed to run in 24, not Kamala Harris. That's why they had to get me up out of office. Stay with me because I'm going to prove it to you. All right. The contract's invalid. The current contract for Local 1000 is invalid. On this invalid contract, they didn't address permanent telework. I addressed it when I was over there at the union. I said, we're going to get guaranteed permanent telework. And the only way they can deny it, they have to show that services and products have deteriorated, we've gone into a decline, and that the fourth largest economy on earth cannot maintain its standing. That did not happen. That did not happen. So why are they trying to force you back to work? Because Gavin Newsom is trying to put himself in a position where he can run for the White House in 2028. He doesn't care about you. He only cares about himself. If he cared about you, he would have been fighting those forest fires years ago. He wouldn't have shut the prison down up there in Lassen County, hi Becky, years ago. if he really cared about you. Those prison firefighter inmates, he took away their jobs. They could have been down fighting the fires down in the Los Angeles area a few months ago, or weeks ago, should I say. He doesn't care about you. And those are the facts. That's not me trying to judge him. He does everything for political reasons. I do things because I'm divinely inspired by God to help you. And to those of you who don't believe in God, I still love you the same. I don't love you any less than those who do believe in God. I don't love you any less than those who believe in Allah. All praises to Muhammad, his last prophet. I love you the same way as I love those who say that Israel will never, ever fall. I love you the same way I love those who say that Buddha is the key to life. So before people come and say, oh, well, Richard, you're being mean. No, I'm not being mean. I love you the same way as I love everyone equally. We removed me from office so that they wanted to vaccinate you. Remember that? I was the only labor leader in the state of California that told you, you will not be vaccinated. Your body is your temple. They can test you, but they cannot demand you to be vaccinated. And I was fighting on the Telework agreement. All the other union presidents rolled right over and did what what the governor told them to do, because they have no backbone. You can't push me around, Newsom. Now, I told you the invalid contract will never be printed up because I'm the chief negotiator. My name should be written on that contract. I told you, until they've tried to destroy me and remove me from the scene, they'll never print that contract up. We are now in 2025. The contract expires June 30th, 2026. You got almost just over a year left on that contract. You said, well, Richard, are you sure it was really about you? Yeah, because Richard is you and you are Richard. And together we are Local 1000. And therefore, they can't print the contract up. But let me tell you what they did. The staff at Local 1000. The staff at Local 1000 who are rank and file. They have a union, UAW 2350. I'll say it for you again. The staff at Local 1000 who are rank and file, who are not part of management, they have their own union, UAW 2350. Go on the website and look it up. Go on the internet. I signed the contract for them October of 21. They got a 14% pay increase over 3 years. 14% over 3 years. This current contract, this current invalid contract they got you believing is so great, 3, 3, and 3. If my math is right. And they're telling you this year they're fighting for 4%. That's a lie. They already got a guaranteed 3. You're running around like a child asking for 1% more. Why didn't you negotiate a substantial pay increase from the very beginning of your illegal contract? Why? Because none of these so-called leaders of Local 1000 will ever tell you that the state is our partner. They tell you the state is our boss. They already go in as a child. They've already given all the power to the state of California. I'm the only one that's ever told you that they are a partner in this relationship. Hold on. So the UAW 2350 contract, they signed a 4-year contract, but the prior contract that I did was a 14% over 3 years. Listen to this, Becky. They got permanent telework. Because as long as I was the leader over there at Local 1000, I'm not going to demand them to come back to work and be there every single day if I'm fighting for your permanent telework. Because I am not a hypocrite. No, those are the other leaders at Local 1000. They're the hypocrites. They're the liars. I'm not a liar. And that's why they won't do videos with me. No one wants to do a video with me. I have nothing to lie about. When you have a divine purpose, you don't have to lie. October 2021, they get a 14% pay increase and Juneteenth and permanent telework. This current contract, October 1st, 2024, it's invalid because I'm the chief negotiator for all Local 1000 contracts. This current contract that UAW 2350 signed is invalid and it will be rescinded when I'm put back in office. Now, here's the funny thing. Let me give you these numbers. They ran me out of office. So in 2023, the union and the governor reached an agreement on August 19th. Gave it to the legislature on the 26th of August. The union voted on this illegal, invalid contract and ratified it September 9th, 2023. The governor signed it on 9/13/2023. This contract, this invalid contract that you're under, was never printed up, but it was signed by the governor on September 13th, 2023. Never got printed up. They gave you every excuse in the book because they knew if they printed that contract up, I would use it against them in court to show their corruption. So when they tell you, well, we have a contract, it's online. They never printed up that contract, told you the start date, the end date, and gave you all the information inside. And then on the cover, they'll give you all the great things they achieved in the contract. They never did that for you. And they have no intention on that. But the UAW 2350, UAW Local 2350, let me say it correct. UAW Local 2350. Their contract came up for renewal on October 1st, 2024. They got a new contract. It's an invalid contract, but they got one. And guess what? Go on the internet. You can view it. It's all printed up. So their contract, as soon as they ratified it, that thing was printed up within, I think, 30 to 60 days. But they can't print up your contract. So the people who work for you have their new contract. They can flip through it. It's all organized. But you don't have your contract printed up. But they ran me out of office. Let me give you these numbers here to show you how they feel about you, the people who work for you at Local 1000. And I'm part of this because I helped them get this great contract before that was legal. Let me see if I have it here. I just knew I had it. Oh, here it is. Local 1000, the staff that works for you, so they claim, that has permanent telework. 27 job classifications, okay? 27. We have over 740 some different job classifications. All right. Listen to this average now. Is there anything that you want to hear me out on today? I want you to hear this. On this local, the UAW Local 2350, the staff at Local 1000, the rank and file, I want you to hear these numbers for them. Their average minimum salary, $5,844. Somebody do the math on that. I didn't do it in front of me. $5,844. Take that times a month, each month, $5,844. Well, we know that 12 times 5, 60,000. So that's the minimum. The maximum, $8,321. Okay? They're getting paid off you. Remember when they ran me out and they had the staff rally against me after they got paid their money? And then you wonder why, listen to this, you wonder why there's a certain individual who refused to give up, said that he got cheated in the 2020 election, kept fighting, fought in court, won in court, and he's back in the White House, and then he's trying to fire everybody he can, including veterans like myself that work for the government because of the corruption. Okay? I'm trying to stop the invaders into Local 1000. And that's these so-called leaders and Gavin Newsom. They're invading our union with their corruption. Now, they've been there all along, but now they've reinvaded because when I had been selected by the membership to leave the union, righteousness had come to Local 1000. They had to get the righteousness out of there and go back to the status quo. It's no different than what you see Russia trying to do against Ukraine. It's no different. They lost certain parts of their territory. Now Russia is slowly and surely trying to get back pieces of their territory. It's the same trick. So I see people on Facebook, some people are Republicans, some people are Democrats, and you're fighting among yourselves. Let me tell you something. I don't belong to neither one of those parties. I'm on nobody's plantation. The only plantation that I serve is a righteous one. All right. Governor Newsom knew what they were trying to do. He helped them do it. So when they had their meeting to remove me at the Sacramento Democratic headquarters on October 16th and 17th, 2021, he supported that. Oh, yes, he did. He knew about it. They wanted me out so they could destroy your life like they've always done. See, they feel like, and I'm going to say this to you on Sunday, March 9th, 2024. I've never seen so many European Americans or Americans whose families come from Europe who are slaves. I didn't know that there were that many slaves coming from Europe. I thought immigrants from Europe came over as free people. Now, I've been told that a few of those immigrants were indentured servants, not slaves, indentured servants that got their freedom after 7 years, because by the Bible, that's the righteous way to have a person be your slave or your servant. You do it for 7 years and then you give them their freedom. That's why it's called indentured servitude. Now, those particular European Americans, when you had your children's children and you may be a child of that indentured servant, oh, let me fall back. Maybe you're not an immigrant to this country. Okay? The reason why I say about that immigrant thing, because I'm not an immigrant to this country. My ancestors came over as the enslaved African. And so when they remove me from office, they say he has no status, he has no voice. And the European Americans in this union, they feel they have no voice. And we can treat them like the enslaved African. And we can sign a contract with them, and while under a signed contract, we can snatch money from them. We can make them come to work anytime we want. We can bully them. They don't have a union. They're our slave. And let me say this to European Americans. You are not a slave. You may have been an indentured servant, but you were never enslaved. You didn't come to this country to be enslaved. You have your dignity. You have your self-esteem. Now, those within Local 1000, European Americans, white people, Caucasians, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you're thinking about. You did not come to America to be a slave. You have a voice. Your life matters too. White people's lives matter too. That doesn't mean that you're trying to denigrate or take away from African Americans or anyone else. But you have a life. Your life matters too. Your culture matters. I don't have to tear down your culture to find who I am. I had to say that, and I'm talking in the spirit, because I get calls from people saying, Richard, I'm white, and I feel if I say anything, I'll be considered racist. And I said, well, it's the foundation of the country, so when you say something, if you don't say it in the correct tone of love and sincerity, it may be viewed as being racist, but that doesn't make you a racist. But this is how they treated white people in Local 1000. They've treated you like you're a slave. And now you're suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. You say, well, Richard, there's more than just white people in the union. There's Mexicans, there's blacks, Latinas, Chicanas, Asians, those from Africa and Europe. That's funny that you say that, because if you look at the last contract, the, July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2023, what do you see on the cover of that contract? You see nothing about minorities. If you didn't know any better, you would think that Local 1000 is just a minority social justice organization. Where are the white people at? Well, half the union is white. That's how I got elected. Not bad. I'm happy. But I'm asking European Americans within Local 1000, where is your self-esteem? Where is your dignity? Where is your fight? What is going on with you? You let them treat you like you're a slave? You let them treat you like you're African American or you're a Mexican or somebody like that? You didn't come to this country to be treated like that. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Every day you tell me you're proud of this country. Every day on the 4th of July, Labor Day, all the holidays, you tell me how great this country is and that you made this country great. That's what you tell me. Well, you're not acting like it. You're not acting like it. You're acting like you're defeated. I'm African American. You can't defeat me. I got my self-esteem. I know who I am. I know I haven't done anything wrong against Local 1000. But to my European American friends, allies, some of them don't like me. Where is your self-esteem to fight against Gavin Newsom bringing you back to work? But then again, where is your fight to keep your duly elected president, who is going to get you a 21% pay increase across the board, along with GOP, along with COLA, permanent telework, absent of management abuse in the workplace? Did you come to fight for him? You don't have to fight for me. I'll fight for myself. But the one thing I want European Americans in this union to do, stand up for once and fight. Don't let someone talk down to you. Don't let Gavin Newsom belittle you. He's a white man. You're a white person. You're just as good as him, if not better. And you serve the state of California. He's not serving nobody but himself. So where is your pride at? Now, today's video was supposed to be about the reality. Hi, Yolanda. Thanks for coming on Zoom. The reality of what's right versus what is wrong. And so when people call me and they say, Richard, what's taking so long? When you're battling the court system and you have no lawyer, and they have 3 sets of lawyers using your money to destroy your vote, to destroy democracy, and you sit back and don't do a damn thing. You sit back and take it. And so when they took 1 day of pay from you, great. 2 days of pay with Schwarzenegger, great. 3 days, great. You didn't say a word. And then when the Democrat governor comes in, they say, we want you to voluntarily give it up. And you do, like a fool. I'm not voluntarily giving up anything. Let me say something for you today that I've never said before on video. Because every time I say something really powerful, the union takes my words and they run around and act like it's their words, but it's not. You're not really a public servant, but they treat you like a slave. You know what you really are, Local 1000 European Americans? I'm not talking to the minorities in Local 1000. Because if you tell them to go out here and dig a ditch and give up all their money, they'll do it. I'm talking to the white people in Local 1000. Now, there's a few minorities who have their self-esteem. Hi, Yolanda Williams. I know you have yours. You're not a public servant. You know what you are? You're a shareholder. And I'm your CEO. And I'm here to maximize your shareholder value absent of management abuse. Let me say it for you again, because union presidents don't talk like this. You are a shareholder, and I'm here to maximize your shareholder value under a signed contract, which means you can't lose your jobs. They can't take money from you under a signed contract. They can't denigrate you. That's who you are. You're a shareholder. Look, the state of California is a corporation, and it's up to them to pay you as little as possible so they can maximize their shareholders. When they tell you they don't have enough money to pay you, have they ever shown you their financial statements? No, because their shareholders don't want you knowing how much money they really have. But as your CEO of Local 1000, I'm here to maximize your shareholder value absent of management abuse. All right. Well, now, I don't know how long I've been going on for. I haven't been counting myself. All right. Now, I hear there's some type of little rally on March 12th. Sacramento, LA, Fresno, maybe down in San Diego. Talking about we're going to stand up against Gavin Newsom. You're not going to do a damn thing. These so-called Local 1000 leaders, remember, Annika Walsh, David Jimenez, Irene Green, they're suspended. I suspended them of their official duties. They don't have a voice. They want to convince you that they have a voice, that they're fighting for you. They're not doing nothing for you. A 3% here, a 3% there. What is that? That's a joke. But that's how you treat slaves. Listen how I say this, European Americans, and you'll see where I'm going. If it was just black and brown, if it was just black slaves, we wouldn't have to pay a dime. Things may get out of control. We may have a civil protest or a civil war. If it was just brown people, we'd pay them a few pennies more. But white people, we have to pay you a little more than that. But you're still a slave. They're denigrating you. And then what they do, They take the parties and they separate them. And then they have white people fighting against white people. The white socialists, the white conservative, and then they have you fighting each other. But in the meantime, you're not getting any money. And you're living day to day. And then if a black person gets a job, they'll say, oh my God, it's a DEI hire. And then you'll get mad about it. Arr. Black people are not holding you down, white people. Do you think enough black folks can stop doing drugs, stop living a life of crime, pick up their self-esteem, and scare you? You're crazy. That's like getting black people to come together to all agree on something. It ain't happening in this country. But they have you fighting each other over a few little black people who got little jobs here, a few little minorities, and then they turn. Let me tell you how they do, you European Americans. They have white women fighting white women. What kind of nonsense is this? See, this is real talk. This is not something you get on TV. White women fighting white women. And then they're the ones who will get hurt most by the DEI going away. We want everyone to be judged on the content of their character. But if we don't start on the same place, then how you get there? Who knows? But here's what I do know, Local 1000. European Americans, Caucasians, whites, in Local 1000, why are you letting them treat you like a slave? I don't respect that. I don't. I mean, that's your freedom of speech. You gotta respect that. But what about your ancestors? They didn't come to America to be a slave. So what are you doing? I mean, you feel your self-esteem is that low? You feel like the minorities are going to take your country and you just feel like just giving up? What are you talking about? Last time I checked, if I want to go out and have a nice time, I said, well, let me go in my wallet here and see how much money I have. And you know what I see? European Americans. I don't see no black folks on that money. Not in this country. I gotta laugh. But you're allowing the state of California and Gavin Newsom to walk over you. And you've been letting this happen for years. You're like a rape victim. The Stockholm Syndrome, that's the professional term. You've been raped and sodomized and victimized, and you don't even know what to think. I hear people on Facebook supporting Gavin Newsom, and they call themselves pro-labor. Are you kidding me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard someone say. Well, no, not the dumbest thing. I see a lot of dumb stuff on Facebook. Reality is, on March 12th, they're going to tell you they're fighting. They're not fighting for you. That's a lie. You say, well, Richard, are you going to come down there to Sacramento on March 12th down there? Oh, gosh. It's on 16th Street at the headquarters CalHR. You're going to come down there and fight and challenge those people? What are you going to do, Richard? Do you think I'm just sitting back and not doing anything? I'm involved in 3 court cases. First, about them illegally removing me from office. That's a court case. They put a lien on my home, trying to destroy me, trying to get inside my head mentally. Okay? They put a lien on my home. They're using your money to put a lien on my home, and I'm the president of Local 1000. I want you to think about that. I haven't done anything wrong. If I had stolen money from Local 1000, excuse my language, they would have had my chocolate ass in jail. You know that, and I know that. Excuse my language, but they would have had my chocolate ass in jail if I'd have stolen something from Local 1000. Okay? But they're using your money to destroy me. And then they said I was mentally ill. I'm not mentally ill. I had to take them to court on that. Then they tried to say I couldn't drive safely. I had to take them to court on that. This is all connected. They're trying to shut my mouth up as if I should know my place and go back to Missouri. I'm not going back to Missouri. Well, maybe. I don't know. That's my home. But you're not going to shut my mouth up. I'm an American. I'm just as good as anyone else. It has nothing to do with my skin color. It has nothing to do with, who I am. I'm a child of God first. And through faith, hope, and charity, I'm not going away. Now, they're doing their very best. Let me acknowledge those 3 sets of lawyers. They are highly intelligent. They're highly motivated. They're doing their best to make me shut my mouth. I'm not going to shut my mouth. That's not what God created me for. Sometimes God creates, if you believe in God, God creates people for a righteous cause. And then other times God creates people for an unrighteous cause. You say, well, why would God do that? I don't know. God hasn't told me the answer yet. I'm on a righteous crusade. It took me half my life to figure out what I was put on earth to do. It's kind of embarrassing. When I'm reinstated, this telework agreement, all this nonsense, we're going to get all this straight. This March 12th, when they were saying they're fighting for you for telework, let me give you an inside tip on this so-called leader, Annika Walls. She's a liar. Okay? Annika Walls is a liar. When I was over there at the building, when I was elected in 21, she was pulling me aside, trying to get inside my head, so we need to make all the staff come back to work. I said, that's the stupidest thing I've heard you say, Annika. We're demanding permanent telework for our people, regardless of their job classification, to treat everyone with love and respect equally. And you want to bring people back to work. And you can't even get your she couldn't even get to the building by 9 or 10 o'clock half the time. See, that's all the inside stuff that I hold back. These so-called leaders don't care about you. Again, when they're having their little protests on March 12th, maybe I come down there and confront them. Maybe I don't. Nobody knows what Richard's going to do. When they tell you the state is not your boss, and we're not going to take this anymore, and this contract is garbage, and we're going to put our real president back in and lead us, when they tell you that, then you know they're on. But you know, and I know, the truth of righteousness, the truth to help you is not in them. It never was, and it never will be, because they were not created to lead you to the promised land of financial security, absent of management abuse. That's not what they were created for. They were created to do as they were told. They're followers. That's who they are. That's who's leading you right now, a follower. You tell her go this way, she'll go this way. She has no backbone. And when she was doing all that little protest saying they're trying to get a good contract and they acted like they were arresting her, that's an Oscar-winning performance. Where did she learn that nonsense from? Ask Gavin Newsom. He taught her. So sometimes when you see me on Facebook and I'm disagreeing with Democrats, great. Sometimes I disagree with the Republicans, great. But here's the one thing that they cannot disagree with me on. I'm here to get you paid your money for a particular time with no job loss, no changing of your work hours, permanent telework, a substantial pay increase of at least 21%, absent of management abuse. And I'm going to treat everyone within Local 1000, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, U.S. Constitutional, no party preference, that's who I am. And before someone says, well, I thought you were a Republican. No. Well, I don't know. I was hearing all these things. Did you ever call me? 408-207-2339. 408-207-2339. Did you call me, or did you sit on your ass and let someone else infiltrate your mind? I used to be a Democrat. I left the Democratic Party last September, I believe, of 2024. Well, I heard you voted for President Trump. Anyone that says that I voted for Kamala Harris or President Trump, I'm going to sue you. I want you to say, go on Facebook and say, you're a liar. I know you voted for President Trump. You go right ahead and say it, you coward. Say it on Facebook. Stick your chest out the way Richard Wake stuck his chest out, and you'll get sued. I want you to. See, some people are afraid to go to court. I ain't afraid. See, when you stand on righteousness' sake, you don't sit back and let somebody else fight your battles. You fight the battles because you know that God is in front of you, on top of you, underneath you, on the side of you, behind you, and he'll send those righteous angels. And so I invoke those righteous angels to come to my rescue each and every time. Now, I've told you once, I will be reinstated. I'm walking in faith. Okay? Having a positive attitude. Okay? Not thinking negative thoughts. Okay? And then when God gives me the dream, he verifies it. Scott Schmidt, I heard Richard Wake said you were a Trump supporter. Bring me that video. Bring me that Facebook post so I can sue him again. Because that's defamation. I'm not a Trump supporter. But there are issues that I do support Donald Trump on, President Trump on. Securing the border, you absolutely believe it. Secure the border. Because that's what I'm doing for Local 1000. I'm securing our border. I'm not letting the Democratic Party come in and tell us what to do. I'm not letting no political party come in and tell us what to do. That's your freedom of speech in your personal life. In your public life, as a shareholder of Local 1000, I'm here to get you paid your money, regardless of your political party, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of your race, your ethnicity. I don't care. We are trying to go get that money. Period. So Richard Wake, you find the evidence, bring it to me. Put it up on Facebook. You should do a post on my RL Brown Facebook page, Scott Smith, and say, hey, Richard Wake, when you said that Richard Lewis Brown was a Trump supporter, do you still stand behind that? Because he's threatened to sue you again. See, what you guys don't understand, Richard Wake got caught in his own words. He's already tried to apologize to me privately. He's offered 40 apologies for calling me mentally ill. I am not mentally ill. He destroyed my credibility. My family was calling me, my friends, colleagues. They were like, what's going on? I don't understand. Why would he say that about you? Because he doesn't care. He feels there's no consequence for his actions. When they were telling people in Local 1000 that Richard was a Trump supporter, Richard was a black Republican, there was no proof of that. Never has been. Never has been. I'm sorry that you're going through this, everyone, but you got to take action. Now, I put up a post yesterday. No, wait a minute, get my days confused. I think it was March 7th. I put up a post saying a lot of different things. Okay? Sorry I lost connection with you, Elijah. I put up a post. Did anyone take that post and send it to their friends throughout the state of California? That March 7th post? Did anyone send that to their friends? Did anyone send that to the news media? Did you? Did anyone take the March 7th post where I laid it out? Did anyone send that to their friends? Scott Smith, you may have had some conservative views that can be misconstrued as Republican. Hold on a second. Protecting our country? You can't say that, can be misconstrued because I serve the country. Scott Schmidt, I'm not yelling at you, Scott Smith. I serve this country to protect us from people coming across our borders illegally. I serve this country so we can stop communism from spreading to countries who wanted a democratic society. Oh, yes, I did. So when people say it can be misconstrued as being a Republican, I served in the military. Does that make me automatically a Republican? Here's Scott Smith. Let me throw this at you. And I can tie it back to the Union. I said I respect people for their freedom of thought. I'm not going to bully them or berate them. Okay? So when there were certain people in the NFL and in the NBA not standing for the national anthem, did I berate them? Did I bully them? No, that's their freedom of speech. And as a military veteran, I support their ability to do that. Because they did it peacefully. To those who burnt a flag back in the 60s protesting the Vietnam War, did they do that peacefully? I think they kind of did. I support that. I support a women's right to choose. Did you know that, Scott Smith? Did they tell you that part? Or they left that part out? How does that tie back to the Union? Because I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm for everyone in my union equally. I take it issue by issue. I support this country. I support the state of California. See, I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Question is to all of you, are you willing to die for what you believe in? Most of you are not. Forgive me for prejudging you. If you serve the country, I fall back. If you're in law enforcement, or you're a firefighter, oh, I fall back really hard now. We're on the same platform. So when people say all these things, the border issue is more related to the xenophobia rather than resolve. Okay, hold on. European nations have the freedom of movement because they don't care if you enter or leave. Okay. If you don't secure your border, your country will get overrun. Period. If you don't protect Local 1000, you won't have a union. Period. It's the same relationship. You can't come to the country illegally and then say, oh, I don't want to leave now. That's wrong. You've broken the law. So that's like saying someone comes in, removes me from the union illegally, I didn't do anything wrong, and then they say, okay, get over it. We're here now. Because that's what they're telling you. And that's why they feel that way, Scott Smith. And that's why these so-called leaders of Local 1000, 99% of them are Democrats. Because they'll break the rules to validate who they are. You say, well, wait a minute. Sometimes the Republicans do the same thing. You're right. But I'm neither one. I am neither one. How many people are really going to go down there and, okay, Scott Smith, absolutely. The Patriot Act, absolutely. It's not a great law. Censorship. And you get censorship from both sides. Because I was being censored years ago by Mark Zuckerberg when I was saying things. And now that President Trump's back in office, now Facebook is allegedly allowing you to be more open in what you say. They're not taking down what you say. But when I said something that supported Ukraine, they censored me. So both parties are guilty of censorship. They both tell you they believe in freedom of speech. Let me tell you something about people, regardless of their color, their race, or their political party. People tell you they're for freedom of speech when it benefits them. I'm on a righteous crusade. And that's why those things they can't break me on that. Again, how many people are going down on March 12th? Or do you think it's not even worth your time? For telework. Because here's what I'll tell you. If Gavin Newsom could have vaccinated the entire state of California, all the state employees, he would have. One person made a difference. One person inspired by God made a difference. All of you would have been vaccinated. But you forgot. I have not forgotten you. I still love you. I still know I have a divine purpose. Everyone has an opinion, but very few are willing to fight for what they believe in. Here's the one thing I'll say about those who supported the Black Lives Matter movement. Not the ones who were looting. Not them. Hold on, Scott Smith. I'm coming back to you in a second. Not them. But those who did the Black Lives Matter movement, those who did the January 6th, not the ones who did it in a violent manner, not those who protested peacefully. I respect you. So, Scott Smith, you say, come down and show your support for telework. I'm the leader of Local 1000. Y'all should be coming to get me. Are you going to come and get me? And then say, here's the president of Local 1000, Scott Smith. Are you going to do that? Are you and a group of people to come to me and say, this is our president? So it's so easy to tell somebody what to do. My question is back to you, Scott Smith. What are you willing to do for your country, for your union? I've already served this country, and I'm serving this union. What are you willing to do, Scott Smith? But Scott Smith, your name could be Janae, it could be Tyrone, it could be Maria, it could be Heidi, it could be Payne. It could be a lot of different names. Everyone wants to tell somebody what to do versus you taking action yourself. That March 7th comment I put up on Facebook. A leader shouldn't help, a leader acts. So again, that March 7th comment I put up on Facebook. Did you send that to the news media? Did you, Scott Schmidt? I want to know. Let's see what Scott Schmidt says. Because he's saying a leader shouldn't help, a leader acts. I'm in court fighting the union, but you're telling me that I'm not acting enough and they put a lien on my home, Scott Smith. What are you really talking about? What have you done? Did you file a lawsuit against Local 1000 for illegally removing the duly elected president, Scott Smith? Did you do that? Yes or no? Did you do that? Yes or no? I didn't think you can answer that question. See, these so-called people, when they get on my videos or on Zoom, you don't want this action from me. You better go on TV and get some of them cats for me. I've done my homework. March 12th, downtown Sacramento. the protest against the telework. Because of the invalid contract, they didn't do their job right the first time. That's the storyline. The invalid contract, which are so-called leaders who are already suspended, now they want to talk about, oh, we want to have a voice. We want to have our voice heard. You ain't going to do anything. You're not. And the governor knows that. He knows if he tells you, I'm taking 3 days of pay for the next 3 years, you'll sit there and take it because you don't have any self-esteem. You don't have any dignity. You're a disgrace against your ancestors and those who came from Europe. You're disgracing them. This country was based off a fight. A fight. Some people say it was for capitalism. Some people say it was for democracy. Everyone has an opinion. But there was a fight in this country. First, it was very revolutionary-like. You know, enjoy your latte while we protest. I don't even drink lattes, Scott Smith. I asked you to come pick me up. You won't even do it, Scott Smith. See, this is how you know they send people on my videos to try to distract me. But then when I ask them questions, they don't know how to respond because they can't think on their feet. I said, come on down and pick me up. He won't do it. Anyway, at some point in time, people have to develop their self-esteem. They really do. And I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I take a lot of calls. A lot of people don't want me to say their names out openly because they're afraid. Because when you live your life being afraid, you'll never amount to anything. You will be a slave to the American capitalist system. You're not acting like a shareholder. You're not acting like one. You're acting like a slave. My question is, but you didn't come from Africa. You weren't enslaved. You weren't told that you were inferior. You weren't told that if you didn't say something right, we're going to lynch you. So I don't understand how some of the European Americans don't have their self-esteem, don't have their dignity, Scott Schmidt. And I believe Scott Schmidt, if I'm correct, Schmidt's a German last name. And I know the Germans I know, real Germans, they got their self-esteem. They ain't gonna let nobody make them feel bad about anything. So, I don't know, Scott Schmidt. So listen, Scott, maybe you forgot where I live. So I live in Sacramento. I live in Oak Park, 3225 43rd Street. You can call me at 408-207-2339. And then you can come pick me up, and then we can go protest. But you won't come pick me up. All right, so we're going to wrap this up on March 9th, 2025. I just wanted to let everyone know I'm on a divine purpose. I'm on a divine mission to fight for you. And what I'm asking European Americans to do is stop acting like you're an enslaved African. Stop acting like you're an enslaved African. I see you, Wanda. I see you. I want you to stop acting like that. You're a shareholder of the most important organization in America. It's called a union. And we're fighting for people's wages for a period of time, substantial wages for a period of time, absent of management abuse, with permanent telework, with GeoPay, with COLA, with respect in the workplace. That's what we're fighting for. Now, these so-called leaders doing this March 12th, they're suspended. Mr. Schmidt, they're suspended of their official duties. So when you ask me, what am I doing? And I'm fighting these people in court with my own money, and they put a lien on my home trying to take my home from me, what the hell are you doing? Praise God through Jesus Christ. I didn't say that with anger. So, you know where I live, Scott Smith. You can always come down and pick me up. Give me a call ahead of time. Let me know you're coming to get me. That I'm your leader of Local 1000, and we're going to set the union straight. Because before you can set Gavin Newsom straight, you have to have a union that's set straight. See, that's the real truth of it all. All right. And for those who came on late, your current invalid contract that's not printed up, but yet the staff at Local 1000, their contract's printed up. I'll give you the information on that here. I'll put it up here in a second on my Facebook page, RL Brown. But I wanted to do a video today on March 9th. And it's really important that I did this. And, you know, someone's saying, oh, Scott Smith, see you at the rail station. No. If you want to see me at the rail station, no, you can come pick me up and we can catch the rail together. So, but he's just saying that, you know, because he thinks that he was sent to see what kind of reaction he'll get from me. But see, I'm in the spirit right now. I'm in the spirit. So, all right. Let's shut it down. Today was March 9th, 2025. I am Richard Lewis Brown, your duly elected Local 1000 president. I'm still fighting for you. I will be reinstated sometime this year. Not by the Sacramento court system, but by a higher level court system, because the Sacramento Superior Court system is corrupt. Gavin Newsom has too much influence on that particular court system. I will. Here's the funny thing. Then I'm going to shut my mouth. They told Donald Trump to know his place, to get out of here. And whether you hate Donald Trump or whether you like Donald Trump, he refused to shut his mouth and he kept fighting and he got reelected. Have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.